And let's see some of the ways that the IBM security technology has been helping customers deal with ShellShock. First and foremost, our IPSs. Since 2007, our IPSs have had a, let's call it a signature, although we prefer to use another terminology for that. But we have in the protocol authentication module that our devices have, that is not based on signatures, but precisely on how the protocol gets abused. We had in there a component that says, well, anywhere that you see shell code, that Unix type of code, anywhere, fire an alert, and you can even block it depending on how you have it set up. So when the shell code vulnerability was released, in fact, in the IBM system where we host the network of almost 4,000 of our customers, we saw a 800% increase on the firing on the shellcode injection. Let's call it signature. So we saw that increase, and why was that? And people were saying, what the heck is going on here? And it was because our signature from that date, 2007, was there and was detecting that in the HTTP headers, there is shellcode there. And we detected not only in HTTP header, but everywhere. And now, in fact, we released an update for IPSs that now selectively tells you when the shellcode is happening on the HTTP header itself or anywhere else, to make it more specific. So the previous one was more generic, and this one is more specific. So as such, our IPSs had the capability and how we did in our systems to send the logs and the flows, because our IPSs can send flow information into QRadar. So we can detect attempts of exploitation. Somebody is trying to get that out there. But also, you know that with QVM we have a very powerful scanner, and the scanner has a very comprehensive support for shellcode from the very beginning. So we have authenticated and unauthenticated, I mean with or without credentials type of scanning. We have a patch test to determine whether the actual vulnerability has been patched or not. So we can actually do that. But remember that QVM in the asset database keeps the data from the previous scan. So you update the QVM scanner, and without having to do a new scan, you can actually see from the asset database, based on the type of service that exists, whether those are vulnerable or not, or you can conduct another scan. You can even have a search on QRadar that specify which are your Unix servers, and then you can do a scan selectively on that, and you don't have to scan the whole network. All that flexibility exists. Also in QRadar, you have in the QRM element component of it, you have the capability of looking at the topology of the network to determine which elements are really vulnerable to it, and which have connection from the internet, in other words, which are accessible from the internet, and you can actually run some simulations on it. And finally, but very important, you have in IBM Endpoint Manager, which was previously known as BigFix, the capability of actually patching all those systems automatically. And in fact, some customers are reported that in the first pass, they were able to get 98% of their devices actually patch. In fact, BigFix can even help you patch QRadar console itself. They say that you have the QRadar console available to the internet. If that is the case, then you need to patch that vulnerability, and again, BigFix can help you that. So that's a short story about all the things that we can do to help customers deal with this type of vulnerabilities that get released and quickly being remediated.